Here to talk about this is Travis County GOP Chairman Matt Mackovic and Tara Pohlmeyer from Progress, Texas. Matt Mackovic, what's your reaction to this news?
Well, I think it's a necessary step, and there was a cascade of influential members of the Texas House last night who called on him to resign, including, I think, 4 or 5 committee chairs. And so the die was clearly cast. Now, they were calling him to resign as Speaker, not to announce he's not running for re-election, and there's a distinction there. And so I don't know if that's going to get worked out over the next few weeks or month, perhaps. But what's clear is that his position was untenable, and he'd lost the trust of the members of the Texas House. You have this Texas Rangers investigation, which is now entering, I think, its third month. Kind of amazing how long it's gone on. So that's hanging over it. And you really just cannot have a Speaker of the House who could be used against members in the general election next year, given the stakes and given that the majority of the Texas House is on the line. So it's going to be interesting to see whether he can remain Speaker for the rest of his term. I don't know whether that's going to happen. You'd have to call a special session to elect a new Speaker. I know there's not a lot of interest in doing that. And then there's also the question of whether he could appoint a new Speaker pro tem so a Democrat named Joe Moody doesn't succeed him. So there are some issues to work out, and but I think this puts a lot of the scandal now in the rearview mirror, which I think is where most Republican House members want it to be.
Well, let's talk about the Democratic members of the House, Tara Pohlmeyer. With this news, do they see an advantage anywhere?
Absolutely. I think we've talked a lot about Trump, and I think it's very clear that Trump's extremist ways have absolutely infiltrated the Texas Republican Party, as well as Dennis Bonnen. And I think as we move forward into 2020 and our future elections, progressives are only growing in power here in Texas, and so we have a lot to look forward to. And I think this is one more Republican that we won't have to kind of go up against in the election with his announcement of basically retiring.
You know, Matt Mackovic, does he have a future in politics now, or this is his way of saying I'm done?
No, I think he probably doesn't. And I think one of the big questions now as well is what's going to happen with the $3 million that he transferred to a PAC that he was going to use to help hold the House majority, to help Republican incumbents. I think that's crucial. This is one of the questions I have as to whether he can remain Speaker for the next 13 or 14 months. If you can't raise money and you can't help incumbent members, you can't campaign for them, which I presume he will not be able to do effectively, then he's taking an office, and we're basically taking the Speaker of the House, which should be held by a Republican, to the advantage of Republicans, and really neutralizing that. And so that's another problem for Texas House Republicans, given their narrow majority. So no, I think he probably doesn't have a future. What's amazing about this is he was in such strong shape in June when the session ended, getting the 2 big issues done: property tax reform and school finance reform, not needing a special session, keeping the House together. And then to think just 4 short months later, he's not announcing he's not running for re-election, and there's a cloud of uncertainty that hangs over him. It's a pretty stunning fall from grace.
Tara Pohlmeyer, do you think the governor should call a special session to get a new Speaker of the House?
I don't think that's likely that the governor will do that. If the governor were to call a special session, we would need it to be an emergency session to tackle gun reform here in Texas. I think when it comes to moving forward, Democrats only have 9 seats away from flipping the Texas House, and now we have the opportunity to not only put a progressive in the position as Speaker of the House, but to have the first woman in Texas be Speaker of the House as well. And so there's a lot to look forward to in 2020. And it'll be in the hands of the voters.
Okay, well, for now, Dennis Bonnen, he's out. We got to wrap it up. Tara, Matt, thank you both very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.